Hello, it's Jay here again and welcome to another tutorial. Now in this lesson we are continuing on with the enemy attack script. But first I want to go over a few more things in the scene itself. So I'll just select the enemy game object. Now when I tested the finished version of the enemy attack script, I noticed a problem. The player's position was resetting somewhere else. It was like the player was teleporting. Now that issue I quickly fixed, but I thought I'd just go over it just in case some of you are not aware of it. So it was an issue with the player get hit animation. So let's select that animation, and this is what we get in the inspector normally. But what I'm going to do is come to this little drop down menu here next to side of the lock, and I'm going to choose debug, and it was this here that was causing the problem. Keep original position Y. That needed to be unchecked. That's it. You don't have to do anything else, and we'll just set that back to normal in a moment. But that's it's a good thing to keep in mind that if you encountered the same problem, just come into your debug for your animation and check these here. Keep original position. If these are ticked, untick them, and that should solve your issue. So with that said, let's have a closer look at the enemy game object, which is a little difficult to do because of where he is in the scene. Let's select the enemy, and we can bring him down to the floor now because we simply do not need to test the gravity anymore. That's the only reason he was up there, so we could see the gravity work. And let's set him to so his feet are on the floor. And as I said, these values for the radiuses, which I have assigned to my enemy here, was only for testing. So the values I'm going to change them to are still for testing. They still will not be what I use in my final project, but the time has come now we can increase these values. So first I'll increase the sphere collider, let's say by a value of 10. And that's where that is positioned. Let's increase the run value radius. So 25, let's give this a value of 20. And I still may need to increase it a little more at that. Now, your attack radius will always be the same once you have it set up. Remember, it's the radius in which the enemy can actually swing his arms, or whichever means of attack that he has. And the enemy's a little bit close to the player at that, so let's just drag him this way a bit. I don't want him too close, or his collider too close. That'll do quite nicely. And there is one last thing we need to do in the scene. We need to access the enemy attack game object, and the easiest way to find it when it's buried inside a hierarchy is just type it in here. We'll select enemy attack. If I hit the cross, there we go. And this is one of the most important things. Similar to the enemy AI, this must be checked as is trigger. If you do not check this, the enemy attack script will not work at all, and will also disable the enemy attack script by unchecking here. Now remember, we're turning this script on if I come back to the enemy AI script, if I scroll down, and here we go, we set it to enable within our enemy AI, and it's just a way of optimizing the game, because it basically means this script is not being read at all, because it's completely disabled until the player's in range of the enemy. So it's a great way of optimization, especially when you get to the point where you have multiple enemies on screen. So with that done, let's collapse all this down. And we'll get a few other things in place in this video. Let's get some basic things in place. So here's where we left off. We'd got our variables and our void start and void update in place. So let's fill out these two functions, I think, in this video. And the first thing I'm going to do is change this naming convention here. At the minute it's just player hit. I'm going to change that. I'm going to put an underscore in front of player and change the hit to a capital H, keeping the naming conventions in unison with what we've used before. And I'm also going to do the same for the on trigger exit, underscore in front of player, and all the other words I will change to begin with a capital, and fix that little typo there as well. So let's come inside the void on trigger enter, and we'll say if open brackets underscore player hit dot tag double equal speech marks player with a capital P, very important. We'll close brackets there, and we've been through this before, but yes, this is how it works. We've set our collider in this video to be is trigger, so there's the collider. Here's a naming convention. If our collider using our naming convention dot tag, so in this case we can say if player enters collider, and we'll come to the next line, and we want damage player open and close brackets, close line off. So if the player enters the collider, then we're going to call this function, and we'll put it into the comments, and we'll just say then call, and we want the damage player function. And that's all the code we need for the on trigger enter, and we need to do something just as simple for the on trigger exit, only this time we're going to use player has been hit, and again we want the dot tag double equals in the speech marks player, remember the capital, and we'll close brackets there, and if player has exited the collider. So this is for when the player enters the collider. Now it's not this collider on the enemy, it's the actual collider on the attack only. If the player's exited the collider, and we'll enter underscore damage activated equals false, and we'll close the line off, and we'll say then set and damage activated to false, and fix a little typo there. So we'll just save that off for now. I think we'll leave it here for this video. I know we haven't done much coding, but we've got these in place now. So that's all we need for all them functions. So in the next video we can continue on. We should be able to fill this out within one video and actually get round to testing the script. But please take note of what I've said about the animations. Remember, just come to debug and make sure that we're not keeping the original position. And I'll leave it here for now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see you next time. And until then, as always, bye for now.